Hello everyone, ReeferGil here. This is an update video on my 75-gallon reef tank build. I am now in month number 4. 4 months ago is when I added my first pieces of livestock to the system. It was some cleanup crew, pieces of coral, and a couple of fish. 2 months prior to that is when I started the cycle of the tank. So the tank cycled for 2 months, and then 4 months ago is when I actually started adding some livestock. If you remember in the last video, I spoke about a female Malinaris wrasse that unexpectedly died. She has now been replaced with a male Malinaris wrasse who's been in the system for about 3 weeks now. Very healthy and doing great. The powder blue tang and the yellow sailfin tang that were in the quarantine tank being treated for ick using copper. The powder blue tang ended up dying, and the sailfin tang was cured of ick, and I sold it back to my local fish store for actually a 100% refund, so he was very cool about that. I also have some upgrades to some pieces of equipment that I'll be going over later in the video, and also added a few pieces of coral and a couple of new fish that we'll be talking about later in the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you my Maxi Jet 1200. This is what I used to run the GFO reactor. It wasn't working, so I took it apart, and check out the propeller. It's just annihilated, gone. There's one little piece barely on there. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing something might have got inside of it. I do have this screen that I put on top of the pump to prevent things from getting in, but something happened. It just devastated this propeller. So what I'm going to do is replace the Maxi Jet 1200 with a Cobalt MJ 1200. So I'll be running this with my GFO reactor from now on, and I did also purchase a pre-foam filter to prevent that from happening again. Just want to share that with you guys. Okay, in my sump area here I have the Cobalt MJ 1200 plugged in and running. You could see the pre-filters attached to it to prevent anything from getting in there and damaging the propeller. Like I mentioned earlier, I had the Maxi Jet 1200 running. Guys, all I can say is what a world of difference between the Maxi Jet and this MJ 1200. This thing is way quieter and has more power to it. I'm way happier with this MJ 1200. I wish I would have purchased it from the very get-go. But if you guys are just trying to decide what to run your media reactors with and debating between the Maxi Jet and the Cobalt, I would definitely recommend this Cobalt MJ 1200. You can see it tumbling my GFO in here. Logan 1977 requested that I show him a close-up of this, so here it is. Hope it helps, but very happy with it. I replaced one of my Corellia 1400s with this MP40. Very happy with the MP40. The only negative I have to say about it is I did have my LPSs up on top of the rock here, but because of the MP40's power, they were closing up, and I had to put them down in the sand bed, which is fine because I have to cover up the sand bed anyway, and it actually looks better that they're down in the sand bed, so it kind of forced me to do something I wasn't thinking about doing before. So I'll be running just SPSs up on top of the rock so they get maximum flow from this MP40, along with the Corellia 1400 that I have on the opposite side of the tank, and the Nano Corellia pump that I have behind the rocks there, pumping water there. This thing has a bunch of different settings. I'm running it at about 30 to 40% of its power, and I'll be doing a video on how to program these things and the different settings and going through all that. For those of you who may be thinking about purchasing an MP10, MP40, or even an MP60. Here's a shot of the 3 Barlet Anthias. They're bright yellow. They're the only bright yellow fish I have in the tank besides the Purple Tang's extremities. They're really cool. They school together. One of them will turn male. The males have multiple colors on them, including purples and a deep burgundy color on them. The only drawback is that it's instructed that you're supposed to feed these guys 3 times a day. So 3 different feedings. Right now I'm following that, but on work days when I'm working 10 hours a day, it's going to be a little difficult to feed them 3 times a day. So far so good. Initially for the first few days they were hiding behind the rocks and wouldn't come out, but as you can see now they're freely swimming around the tank and usually stay in the middle of the tank like they are here. But a great addition to the tank. Here's one of my favorite fish in the system, the Purple Tang. I got a really good deal on him. He spent a month in quarantine. He's extremely healthy now. He did have a little bout of ick once he was moved from quarantine into the display tank, and I was able to combat that. I have a video coming out on what I did to get rid of the ick in the display tank with the corals. So keep an eye out on that video. And yeah, he's just one of my favorite fish. Got a really good deal on him. He was being temperature acclimated at my LFS in one of his tanks. It just had shipped in, so I purchased him, put him in the quarantine, and he's doing great now, very healthy. And like you see here, he's just constantly eating. Okay, here I have a couple of new corals. As you guys can remember, about the only coral I've ever lost so far since I started is an open brain. The open brain, its tissue was ripped open by something, or I don't know what happened to it, but its tissue was ripped off and it eventually died. So this is my second attempt at an open brain. It's this green one here, and it's about 3 days old, 4 days old, and it's starting to fill up. When I first put it in the tank, it was shriveled up, but now he's starting to fill up. I've fed it already twice at night when its tentacles are out. He's really, really bright green. And then I have this plate. I don't know what kind of plate it is, but it's a pinkish orange color. And also when I feed him, his mouth in the center there opens up really wide, and he takes in all kinds of mysis shrimp. Really cool to watch him eat. And then over here I have a green Nepthia along this plant. It looks like kind of a Kenya tree. It's green. Said the LFS guy said that there are no more of these in the wild, so I don't know, but I thought it was cool and purchased one. And then the candy canes in the back, they used to be onto the top of the rocks, but I think they were getting a little bit too much light because they started to get white colored or pale out, and since I put them underneath the rock in the shade, they've started to bounce back and are now taking in mysis shrimp at night when their tentacles are out. Here's an SPS coral, pretty unique design to him. The LFS didn't quite know the name of them. It was just some kids helping out anyways. So, but if you guys know the name of this SPS here, I'd appreciate it if you guys let me know what it is. But he's like a greenish yellow colored SPS. Here's a shot of an orange Cap Montipora. I glued him onto the rock, so hopefully he'll start encrusting on there real quick. You could see or have an idea of the way he's going to grow out in the tank. Really neat color there. He really stands out, and can't wait for this guy to grow out. Really enjoy the Monty Poros. Again, one of my favorite corals. And then right here I have my Monty. I have him magnetically placed on the glass. He's on a plug with a magnet on the back of it, and he's doing pretty good. He's already encrusted on the plug there and starting to grow out. I'm not sure what kind of Monty he is. He's kind of a plain color right now. He's supposed to have like blue polyps, but I really don't see them. So I'm hoping once he gets bigger that those colors will start to come out a little better. Purchased a sun coral. The sun corals are pretty cool. They're a nice bright orange colored, again complementing the system. I stuck them on the side of the rock there just because I want to reserve space up on top of the rocks for bigger corals. He's doing really good. You could see his little polyps kind of coming out a little bit. I'll try to zoom in. But he'll eat mysis shrimp as well. Really enjoy this guy. Hoping he does very well in the tank. Up here I have my Akins. I was kind of moving him around a little bit in the sand and back on the rocks, trying to figure out the best place for him. But he's doing really good. He's really healthy. Very new addition, only a couple of days old to the system, is this Yellow Toad Stool. He's in the back, kind of in the shaded area. He's the only yellow coral I have, so he really pops in the tank. I want to get a lot more yellow SPSs. Well, not a lot, but a few more yellow SPSs, and just to have a variety of different colored SPSs up on top of the rocks here. But he's really cool. Really enjoy him so far, and easy to take care of. Here's my right side of my system here. I have a frog spawn here, a torch here, another torch, and then a gold torch at the bottom in the sand bed here. I wanted to put him on the rock, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I put him down at the sand bed, and he's doing fine there. He's got 2 heads on him. And then in the background here you can see my branching flower pot. Still trying to decide what the best location for him is going to be, but I'm really enjoying the different color of torch corals that I purchased here, and the frog spawn's a nice little complement here in the corner. Alright, here's a shot of my Zoanthid Garden. Like I mentioned in the previous update, the Zoanthids are becoming one of my favorite corals, just because there's so many variety of colors of them. But you can see here I added these yellow Zoanthids with like a dark burgundy rim on them. I'm hoping this rock gets covered up with Zoas sooner than later, and allow them to grow out as they please. Here's a side view of my rose Bubbletip anemone. He is just getting bigger and bigger. You can see the base of him stretching all the way down into this rock in the back of the tank, and then the disc of the anemone is up on top of the rocks here. But you can just see how big his tentacles have been growing. He's really pretty in the tank. Tentacles wave with the current, and the 2 baby clownfish that are in there just enjoy him. In fact, they disappear in him. He's so big. But hoping he doesn't get too much bigger. Really do enjoy him. He's one of my favorite corals that are in the tank right now. You can see his tentacles almost reaching the pump up there now. And then on the left side of the tank here I have a bunch of SPS corals. I don't know the name of this one here, so if you guys know the name, if it looks familiar to you, if you could just let me know. I have a green SPS here, a green stylo coral here. I have, I think it was called a pink lemonade SPS, a purple stylo, another stylo here, and then just SPSs scattered about this rock here. This SPS here is pretty cool because it's kind of a greenish yellow color. The piece that it came off of was really big and it looked really cool, so I'm waiting for that thing to grow out, and pretty excited about that coral there. And here's a shot of my green frog spawn. He also used to be on top of the rocks, but the MP40 was just blowing him too much, and he would close up and wouldn't expand the way he is down here now. So he's doing really good in the sand. I also have a large polyp sun coral, I think it's called, and it's this one right here. I thought that was really cool because, again, like the other sun coral I have in the tank, he's really bright orange and really complements the rest of the tank, and he feeds every day. The tentacles are out just like you see him now, and whenever I feed the fish I'll squirt some food into him and he'll eat it, and he's starting to already get big. Sorry about dogs. It seems like every video they're barking. Then right here I have another candy canes. They're kind of a lime green color. Stuck them on the side of the rock there. See how they'll do when they start to grow out. Here's a shot of the Zoanthids with the blue lights on. And that will conclude the video, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Otherwise, please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.